Hello my friends, welcome to my channel where I make Photoshop fun and easy to learn. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I created this YouTube thumbnail inside of Photoshop. Yes, inside of Photoshop. If you've not subscribed to my channel, now is the best time to hit the subscribe button and turn on post notifications so that you don't miss any of the videos that I'll be dropping anytime from now. Without having to say much, let's jump right into this. So the first thing I'm going to do is click on new like this. And I'm going to set, I'm using 1920 by 1080 pixels, please. And you can have the name here. So I'm just going to have thumbnail design here. All right. So in pixels, RGB, resolution 300, transparent. And all things being equal, I'm going to click OK like this. So this is my page size. I have a blank canvas here like this. So the first thing I'm going to do is let's go ahead and fill this up. So click on adjustment, click on solid color. And I'm just going to be basic here. I'm just going to use this. The link to the resource file is in the description of this video. Please use the description of this video to get the resource files. So I'm going to use this color, the basic color. All right. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my source file and I'm going to drag this image in. Right, so this is the first image I'm going to be using. So I'm going to drag it inside here like this and I'm going to place somewhere here. I'm going to make it bigger like this. Make it bigger to cover more space. When I'm done, I'm going to click on the mask and I'm going to remove the edge. Select the brush, make sure you're on your brush, make sure you're using the soft brush. Under general, this is the brush I'm using. This one here. Make sure you're on the mask, and if your cap lock is on, make sure you turn it off. Make sure your foreground color is set to black and remove the edges like that. Select the image and change the blend mode to color dodge. Move it upward like this, and this is what you should have. All right. Make a duplicate copy of this and change the blend mode here to color dodge again, but this time reduce it like this, and go to filter, go to blur, and add blur to this. So I'm going to play with the radius like this until I have something that I want. This is good. Click OK. Okay, so I'm going to leave the opacity like this at 70. And I'm good to go. I'm going over to my resource file and I'm going to bring in this image. So just drag and drop, or you can use the place embedded command. Right? So I'm just going to have this somewhere here. Yeah, somewhere here. So click enter, select the mask. I'm going to do what I did with the first image. Go over to my brush and I'm going to conceal the edges like this. Easy peasy. I'm going to change the blend mode. Yes, to overlay. Okay, now that that's out of the way, I'm going over to my source file again and I'm going to bring in the image itself. I'm going to open it in a new document, right? So I'm going to remove the background like this. So just click remove background. Photoshop does this thing and removes the background for you. And this is the result of removing background. So I'm going to right click and convert this to smart objects so we can start working on it. So let's drag this inside here. So you can just drag and drop or use copy and paste. So Ctrl T, and of course, I am going to make this bigger. Like this. I'm going to position this here. and resize it till I get the perfect size. Like this. Size this, I get the perfect size. Like this. Then click enter when you're done. Of course, let's work on this image. You can see it's not a perfect image. So how do we do that? Oops. Okay, so we're inside of camera raw. So let's make a few changes. Inside the curve, I'm going to increase this up. And under basics, I'm going to turn up the texture. You can see I have more details in the image, right? When you are doing thumbnails, these are very, very important. Turn down the highlights to bring up more textures and increase the shadows. These are some basic things that would naturally bring out the details in your image. You can see we've gone from good to worse because it has brought out everything on the face, and everything that was hidden is now been exposed. But we can fix this, right? Good. So that's why we're here. So how do we fix this? Very simple. So I'm going to make a duplicate copy of this image, Ctrl J, and I'm going to convert this to a smart object so I don't have all those effects around it. Filter and camera raw. Yes, let's go back to camera raw. This time we're going to make this image softer, right? So copy my settings, reduce the texture, reduce the clarity, and under details, turn up noise reduction to the highest, and color reduction like this, color noise reduction like this, and of course when you're done, click OK. Good. So we have a softer skin. Now what we're going to do here is going back there again, still under camera raw, and increase the noise reduction again until you have this very, very soft. And you can sharpen this time, and not too much, just click OK. So this is perfect. Now this is going to act as the soft skin. So let's mask this. We don't want this on the entire image. Click on the mask and press Ctrl I to invert this, and we're just going to have all of those things on the skin. So select your brush, make it smaller, and of course I'm using this. So make sure your foreground color is set to white and reduce the flow. And this is one good technique you can use to soften your skin to get good results. So you can reduce your flow so it's not too much, and you can paint on the areas that you want to soften, just like this. As you can see, most times this gets rid of blemishes, pimples, and all of those things fast, right? So if you're into spot poster designs, if you're into poster design composition, this is one hack that you should know how to use well, right? So I'm just going to create all of this and soften the areas that I want to soften. Make sure you avoid the eyes, the tip of the mouth, the tip of the nose, and the eyelashes. Make sure you don't touch them, but you can soften all of these places and make it look the way you want to. You can touch all of these places, but make sure you don't touch the edges. And when you're done with everything, you should have a softer skin, and of course the image is still sharp. So I'm going to rename this Skin Smooth. Okay, so I can select the two of them and Ctrl G to group them, so it's part of the image now, right? Image 1 and image 2. So I'm going to select image 1 and I'm going to, okay, let me just group them and convert both of them to smart objects, right? Smart objects. And I'm going to go to camera raw filter this time, And what I'm going to do under basic, I'm just going to increase the texture like this. So now that I have my blemishes and all of those things out of the way, I can increase the texture and clarity to get a good result. So make sure you're not doing too much. Copy my settings if you have to. And reduce the highlights like this. And increase the shadows like this. And when you're done, please click the OK button. And increase this texture to the highest and click OK like this. Good. So you can see we have an image that is popped out like this. So this is exactly what I want to achieve. And with this, I can move on with the rest of the things I want to do. So click on adjustment layer this time. And let's see. Okay. Select brightness and contrast. Under this, we're going to apply this to the image, right? So what you're going to do here is very, very simple. We want to apply this to the image, right? So what you should do is right click on this and create clipping mask so it affects only the image. So let's take this up and of course we leave this here. So invert this and we're going to apply only to the light areas. When I mean light areas, only the areas that has light naturally. Areas like this, so I'm going to highlight this, increase this just to make this pop more, right? So you can refer to this as a process of dodging and burning also, right? And just using different technique. In Photoshop, you can do things different ways, right? So I'm just going to make the areas that are already lighter, and basically the areas that are darker. That's what I'm doing here. So I'm going to start with the light areas first, which is all of these areas that you're seeing I'm covering. So this is before and this is after. Easy peasy. Now let's go ahead and go to exposure. Now I'm going to focus on the darker areas. Right click again and create clipping mask like this. And of course, I'm going to take this down and of course bring this up. Ctrl I to invert this, and I'm going to use my brush. And it's too much, so I'm going to reduce the flow this time. Right, I'm going to use something very, very low, and I'm going to use this to bring in my shadows on my image. Right, all of these areas here, the tip of the nose, tip of the mouth should have shadows. All of these areas here, the eyes, this part here, all of these areas here would have shadows. Okay, you can see how easy this is on the shirts here, the folds here, they would have shadows. So your thumbnails is something that somebody should see, and you should attract them to actually want to click them and watch your videos, right? So this is one way. Make this bright. So this is one way you can actually make your thumbnails actually stand out, right? So make this brighter, and you're good to go. Okie dokie. So a major leap from where we are coming from and where we are right now. Okay, so you can choose to increase this or reduce this based on what you've done. And of course, it's flexible. Feel free to express your creativity, right? So I'm going to have this like this and take the brightness up here. You can see, and increase the contrast or decrease. I'm going to leave it here, the contrast for this. And of course, the offset here, I'm going to take it down like this. Okay, so this is good to go. So create a mask for this. Select your brush, and you want to increase the flow just well above 60. Increase the size of the brush and make sure you selected black as your foreground color, and I'm going to conceal those areas, and that's all I'm doing with that. So I'm going to close this up, no, and I'm going to stay on the top like this, and I'm going to create a color balance adjustment layer. So create clipping mask. I'm making these changes to my image, so you can copy my settings for this. You can see how all of these things makes a difference in your image. So with this highlight also, I'm going to add reds to it, right, to make it pop more. And when you're done, group all of them together, and you can name this Yamao, right? So easy peasy, we have this out of the way, right? So let's move on. The next thing I'm going to do is go to my source file. This image, I have this image here. I created this using Nano Banana, Google Gemini. So if you don't know how to do this, watch my video up here on how to create images like this inside of Google Gemini, right? So create a mask, and I'm going to remove the edges like this. And remove the edges like this, and good. So I have something like this. Just make sure it blends well with the background. Rotate this, make this bigger like this, and I have this somewhere here. Make it bigger again until I have just this size. I think I'm good with this. Select the image itself, go over to filter, let's add some blur to this. But before then, let me use the camera raw filter. So inside here, I'm just going to make this sharper, increase the texture, increase the clarity, and add some vibrance to this, right? I'm going to reduce the opacity here like this. In everything you do, make sure your main image is the center of attention, right? So increase this, and I'm going to use this radius, and that's all I'll do with this image. So I have this there. Let's go over to creating a new layer. Before then, I'm going to change my foreground color, and I'm using the blue. I'm going to use this for highlights. So I'm just going to paint here to create highlights like this. All right, create highlights. Change the blend mode to linear dodge, add. And this is what you have. You can see that my highlights actually matches the lights in the stadium. So it's very, very important that this is more like a composition, that everything that you're doing here matches your surrounding environment, right? Now click on solid color, and this is the color I'm using for the highlights. So click OK. Make sure this layer is on top of the grouped Yamao. Invert it and use your brush. Turn off cap locks, make your brush smaller, and I'm going to paint on the edge to create realistic highlights. Invert this, and I'm going to paint here these areas like this, can reduce the size of your brush. Just in all, make sure you're not doing too much. When you make a mistake, you can revert the mask, press X to invert it and remove the color. Of course, we've covered this in the highlights video, so if you've not seen that, make sure you use the link just above to watch the video. Of course, I'm just going to continue painting highlights like this until I have this. So painting the highlights here, right? Highlights here, and on the cloth here, it's just going to be a whole lot because we have a whole. Remove this part here, make it smoother. Move this part here, and add some more light here. Need light here, and change this blend mode to what? Let's use linear lights. Pin lights. Okay, pin light, linear lights. So let's use linear lights. Let's use linear light. This is better than pin lights. So I have more details here compared to what I have in. So I'm just going to use my brush and push these edges outside. And I'm okay with this, actually. Add light here, and I'm good with this. Add some more light here, and I'm good with this. Solid color again, but this time I'm going to use white, right? I'm going to creatively mask. Of course, Ctrl I to invert this. And I'm going to use this on the edge, the outside part. With this, I'm going to turn this up, and I'm going to add this to it. So this is going to be the outer part of it, the one that receives more lights, right? So I'm just going to use this to create this. And of course, this is a very, 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 very simple arc that you can use to create highlights. You have a brighter one, and you have the one that is very, very bright on the outer parts. So this works every time, right? So like I said, easy arc. You can reduce this, and of course you have your nice highlights that looks real. Okay, so this is good. This looks good to go. I'm going to reduce this so that I can keep things realistic and of course basic as I want it to be. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, we've created the highlight for this image. I'm going to reduce the opacity of this one. I'm going to come back to the top layer, and I'm going over to add my text to this thumbnail design. So the first word here is how. Make a duplicate copy of this. Right, so I just need this to be like this. I'm gonna bring this down. So this is bad with a question mark. Yep. Okay, so to spice things up, I'm going to have a rectangle just under the bad like this. And of course, it's going to be in red. Of course, why am I using red? To draw attention. When I'm making your thumbnail, you must make sure that it's attention grabbing, right? I want to see it on the first glance, and there should be something that I want to make me click on this, right? So that's the logic behind it. So make this smaller like this, somewhere here. And you don't necessarily need to fill your thumbnail with too many words, okay? With too many words. So let me bring this down so I can have space for my text to rest. So of course you can see that the rectangle, it's slanted or it is rotated. So I want to make sure my text, let me duplicate this, okay, to have more highlights. Good. Okay, so select the bad text. Oh, let's see, let me bring these highlights down. I don't want it to overshadow the image. So click enter when you're done. Click on this and Ctrl T, rotate this like this until you have something like this. Easy peasy. Click on adjustment layer and click on curves. Now we're going to use this to add shadows to where we need to add shadows to generally on the image, right? So adding shadows like this, it has added it to the whole image, but it's fine. I just have to invert this and manually use our brush to add the shadows to the parts that we want to add those shadows to. So areas like this will have shadow, and you can reduce the size of your brush, right? So areas like this would have shadows, and because they're supposed to be dark, and do not go to the areas where you have light already. So in all, this is what you have, right? So create another adjustment layer, color balance, and let's take this up a little bit. We're going to be adding blues and red. Add blues to the highlights, and for the shadows I'm going to also add blues, but not too much, and until I have this. So you can take the midtones to the yellow, and of course you have balanced out. Click on the out text and Ctrl T to bring out the transform. Okay, so we can now rotate this. Can now rotate this like this and click enter when you're done. And that's simple and basic as it gets, right? So how about every other thing stays the same, and we can move this downward like this. And at the end of the day, you're good to go. Lastly, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add some depth effect. This is part of the Smart Designer Premium asset, right? You're going to know more about it at the end of this video, so you can click the link of description of this video to get your own Smart Designer Premium assets, right? So this is a good effect that you can add to this, and click on the mask. I'm only going to conceal these areas using my black. Make sure your foreground color is set to black, and I don't want on the face, but it can be on every other place. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.